So guys, now we'll be writing the modular coding, and trust me guys, if you have completed the notebook, so writing modular coding is very easy. So only you just need to copy paste the code from your notebook itself. So let's do it. So first of all, I think remember update the config and params. This is already updated. Now let's create the entity. So you can see I have created an entity folder. Inside that config entity is there. So let me open it up, and whatever entity you have created in the notebook, just try to copy paste the same one. So let me copy, and here let me mention it. So let me close these other tabs, it's not required. So I'll paste inside that and I'll save it. Make sure you save, okay, with the Ctrl S. If you are not using actually autosave inside VS Code, just try to save the file first of all. Then the next thing, I just need to update my configuration manager in src config, okay? So you can see inside src, we are having config. Inside that configuration.py. So let me open it up. So whatever code you have written here, just try to copy. So this is my configuration. Now I also need to import this data ingestion config from where? From the entity itself. I think you remember inside entity, we created this particular, let's say, class. Okay, now let me import here. So from CNN classifier dot entity dot config entity import data ingestion config. Fine. So let me check. Yeah, everything is fine. Now the next thing, I have to update my components. So let's update the component. So inside this component folder, I'm going to create a file called data underscore ingestion .py. So whatever, let's say this one component we have written, just try to copy paste. I'll copy this class as it is, and here I'm going to paste it. Okay, now if anything is missing, so path is missing, so let me import the path. So from pathlib import path. Then I also need this data ingestion config. So from CNN classifier dot entity dot config entity import this data ingestion config. Okay, so I think everything is fine. Now the final thing, we have to create our pipeline. That means if I want to execute the component, definitely I need the pipeline. So to create the pipeline, I'll go inside pipeline folder and let me create a file called stage 01 data ingestion .py. Okay, this is going to be my first pipeline, and I think you remember pipeline we created in the notebook. So the same pipeline will be also writing here. So I need the configuration manager and component. Okay, this two class, so I need to import it. So let me import all of them. You can see I'm importing configuration manager and data ingestion component. Okay, from the component and as well as the configuration. And this is the logger. Now, first of all, give me the stage name. So this is the stage name, data ingestion stage. Now this is the final class I have created called class data ingestion training pipeline. Constructor would be empty. I'm not doing anything. Inside main method, whatever code I have written, I just copy pasted. See, the same code I've copy pasted here. First of all, it will initialize the configuration manager, getting the data configuration, then passing it to the component and calling the method download file and extract zip file. Okay, I think we remember. So here it's done. Now let's add this pipeline inside our endpoint, because we'll be executing the endpoint and my application would be running. Okay, so main.py is my endpoint. So let me just write that one. First of all, let me import this data ingestion training pipeline from the stage 01 data ingestion. That means from the pipeline we are importing that class. Then after that, this is the final code. So it will call the main method. I'm initializing the data ingestion pipeline. Then I'm calling the main method, and if I'm calling the main method, that means it will execute and it will start the pipeline. Okay, so let me open it up. Yeah, then I'm also logging the information like our data ingestion started and when it is execution is completed and it is ended, and I'm running inside try except block. Let's say if some exception is going on, it will also show you the exception block as well. Okay, that's it. Now, yeah, so I think it is ready. Now let me delete that artifact folder and let me try again. So can delete. Now open up your terminal, make sure you have activated your environment and Just write python main.py. So guys, as you can see, execution is completed. Now if I open the artifact, so here you can see data.zip file, and this is the unzip file. That means everything is working fine. Now let me commit the changes. So you can see it is also committing my artifact, but I don't want to commit the artifact. So I can add the artifact inside my .getting node. So inside that you can add. If you don't want to commit anything, you can add inside artifact. Now you can see artifact has been removed. Now simply you can commit the changes from your VS Code as well. So here I can give data ingestion edit. Okay, now if I go to my GitHub and refresh, you'll see that this commit has been added. Okay, so yes, that's how actually we can perform the data ingestion. And now I think you got it. Okay, how to perform the data ingestion. And not to worry, I'll also tell you how we can read the data from the storage service as well, like bucket. We'll be also using bucket in future. Now the next stage we'll be doing the prepare base model. That means we have to prepare our base model. We'll be using one pre-trained model. Okay, pre-trained model of the image classification. So I'll tell you what are the models are available. So guys, now let's prepare our base model.